a year ago, just over a year ago, I actually wasn't sitting here because I was too busy to come along to the British Library and hear about the KPI program. I had read the book, I had looked at a couple of videos of Dan online, and because I was so busy, I sent my business partner, Joe, to come and sit here and find out what it was all about. So he came along, raved about it, and I signed up to be a KPI. I was too busy because I was working in the business rather than running the business. And I was too busy because I was selling my time for money, which, as you now have learned, absolutely caps how much money you can potentially earn. I have never regretted it for a minute. So in just over a year, our business has gone from 1 employee and 1 virtual PA to 5 employees, and we have our latest employee joining us on Monday. Our business has almost doubled in size, and we have clients in the UK, in Europe, the Middle East, and North America. Not Australia yet, but I'm sure you can help me get there. We've moved into some pretty swanky offices in Cirencester as part of the Innovation Growth Hub, and we have a virtual office off Kensington High Street in London. And we're able to donate more to charity than we've ever done in the past. So don't get me wrong, this program absolutely works. But you have to work too. It's not a panacea. It is very hard work. It is really difficult to put the time in when you are running around trying to establish a business. But it absolutely is worth putting that time in, and you will get the results. What KPI allows you to do is to really focus, to move with pace, and it gives you a structure and process that allows you to believe in yourself and realize your own value. So I'm going to talk you through a little bit about how I've used KPI and then hand back to Dan. So the first bit, the product piece. Absolutely, knowing what your product is. It forces you to really think about kind of what you're actually doing for your clients. It forces you to think about what your clients or customers really want rather than what you do. And that's the interesting thing. What it forces you to do is think about the output rather than your input. So I would have perhaps stood up here a year ago and said, oh, you know, I'm founder of the Innovation Beehive. We release the creative potential of people at work. We do that in 2 ways. We do training or we do consulting. That's what we do for you. But through the KPI, I've realized my clients don't necessarily come with that problem. They come with problems around innovation or innovation capability. They come with challenges around what their culture is like in their business. Or they come with challenges around their leadership team. And guess what? I've got products and solutions that I can sell them for that, and that's what my website and our pitch talks about their problems and how we can solve them. The pitch is really, really important too, because it really forces you to think about what do you do? Why do you exist in the world, which is more than just about making money. So what is your big game? And what we call at the Innovation Beehive is your duvet chuck, because it will be hard. I remember having a call from a client who cancelled £110,000 worth of potential business they had agreed verbally with me one day. And I absolutely was on the floor. I got back to the Earls Court tube station and was like this. But on my drive home, I decided I was going to listen to something that was inspiring, popped a Dent podcast on it, and actually got out of the car 2 hours later and felt a lot better. So pitch and product, really important. Then profile. So profile takes time. You've got to be committed to networking. You've got to be committed to going out and making those speeches. I don't normally do things for free. I got 2 pens today as payment. Thank you very much. And having become a KPI, I don't need to do stuff for free. But you need to go out there. You need to give those speeches. You need to network. You need to hand out your business card. And you have to be constantly making sure that people know who you are. You need to force yourself to go online. Find out where your clients are, where your potential customers are, and be there so they can read and see about you. Now, for me and my business, I'm really busy. I love personally Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, but I'd rather be making money than curating content and popping something online, so I simply outsourced it. And I can relate absolutely clients who have come into the business as a result of just having seen us online. So we just landed a piece of work with a management consultancy firm in London. We're going to be their innovation partners. They found us through something that our partner posted on LinkedIn. We have our first kickoff meeting on Friday. And then finally, the thing that really worked and is hard if you're sitting there thinking, how can I do that, is partnerships. Now, there are some things around partnership that are important. Who owns the brand? Who owns the client relationship? And who owns the content or the IP? Now, all of that is worked through on the KPI program. But ideally, you get partners who are able to give you exposure to a whole new client base, who can ultimately sell you whilst you realize the value, and you get massive kudos from being associated with them. So we at the Innovation Beehive partner with Google. They launched my book. So my company is an innovation company. Hey, potential client, come to Google, hear about innovation in one of the world's most innovative organizations who take us as their innovation partner. It's not a hard sell to get 100 people in the room to come and listen to us talk about the innovation ecosystem. We also partner with 2 business schools, Ashridge and with Roffey Park. But it is important who owns the IP, who owns the brand, and who owns the client relationship. Now, I deliberately left publish till last because as someone who was too busy to come along here last year, I thought, I am never going to write that book. I'm never going to have the time to write that book. It is the single most important thing I ever did. There is a life thing. There is something about, everyone has a book inside them. Absolutely. But it has completely set us apart from everyone out there. It has forced me over the last year, I started planning with Lucy last January. It forced me over the last year to think, what is our point of view? What are the products and processes that we have in place? And don't worry about giving away your IP. It doesn't matter. You've read KPI, you're still here. So it forces you to really think about what your products and processes are, and then how you can communicate that outside to the world. Rather than just peddling your business, you absolutely become a thought leader. And if you don't think you have time, my God, you won't stop. Okay, so January 2020, my second book will come out, which is called The Innovation Playbook. This morning, I finished our next mini book, a white paper, which is called Innovation in Uncertain Times, Moving from Fragile to Agile. I had to lock myself away in a hotel room this weekend to get it done, absolutely, but it went to the editor this morning, and we will have the comments tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. If you don't think writing a book is valuable, the mini book hasn't even been published. It went to the editor at 10 o'clock this morning. At 11 o'clock, I was already commissioned to write an article about something that hasn't even been published. We've appeared in Forbes magazine, HR magazine, and People Management. Write the book. So for me, KPI completely changed my life. It changed my business. And as I said, it's more than just about making money. Our biggest client is McDonald's in the UK. We have been working with them to help change their culture to become more inclusive, to improve their levels of employee engagement, and to increase their customer satisfaction. They announced recently at their conference that they will be rolling out our program in every single restaurant in the UK. Our work will potentially improve the working lives of 127,000 people in the UK. So follow the process, and hopefully you'll be able to relieve your own creative potential in your work. Thanks very much.